we love discovering new cultures through food, we are going today on a food tour in Antigua, Guatemala.
Okay, so in tradition of us doing food tours, here we are again doing a little bit of a voiceover.
Before going in the actual market, we were to the previous marketplace, which was actually a church ruins.
Antigua used to be the capital of Guatemala as well, but then in the 1700s there were some really bad earthquakes in this area, in this valley. The government of back then decided to not rebuild the city, just move the entire city to a different place, and that's how Guatemala City was created. We're about to enter the market area here, crazy busy.
We weren't in the actual market. This is where all the locals go to do their groceries and they plan their meals for the week. In this market we could see many fruits and roots vegetables because the climate here in Guatemala is very humid and that helps for all the root vegetables to grow. And they have a lot of corn and they make a lot of tortillas as well.
They make up to 2,000 tortillas per person here at the market. With every single meal you'll get a couple tortillas. And so the women here, they're just constantly baking the tortillas to keep up with the demand.
It's interesting to know that actually 50% of the children here in Guatemala suffer from malnutrition because that's basically their only food. And why do they only eat that? Is well, because sadly a lot of people cannot afford other type of food and corn is quite cheap and you can get like big quantity to feed all your family, and so that's just the staple food.
We walked into the market, and the deeper into the market you get, the more crowded it became, and it's like a maze with little stands of people selling their produce. And it's quite amazing to see the hustle and bustle of this market. It was similar to what we experienced in Costa Rica, but I would say here it's a bit more intense, a bit more raw.
This market is not only about food, because in this place you can find whatever you want. You have clothes, you have soaps, you have spices. Yeah, you can find many things, and that's basically just a more ancient version of a mall.
After we walked through this market, our guide took us to a little local restaurant, and there we tasted some fruit and some local dishes.
So first fruit we tried was the sapote. Sapote is a fruit that looks like a normal coconut, but inside it's actually orange, and people compare that to avocado. It does have avocado texture. Oh, that's sweet actually. For me, when I tasted it, it tastes like a mix between sweet potatoes and squash, and it also have a little bit of the texture of the sweet potatoes.
The second fruit we had is a broad bean on steroids. It looks like a broad bean, just much bigger. And here they call it the ice cream bean. When you open it up, it's kind of the same as like a cacao pod. It's got this like pit inside that's covered in this slimy white substance, and you take it out and you suck on it, and then you get this sort of lychee, vanilla, sweetish flavor. We also had a fruit that's called caimito. It's a round fruit that is purple. When you open it up, again you get this lychee flavor. I like this one quite a lot actually.
And the last fruit we tried was the jacote. Jacote is like a little round ball, red ball, and you have a big seed inside, and the flesh is yellowish, orangish. I really like these fruits. It's very juicy, and so it's quite refreshing, and it's quite nice when you're thirsty as well.
And what's interesting is these fruits, you really don't see them outside of Guatemala, and the reason for that is that these fruits, they just do not export well. When you export them, they're very fragile, they go off quickly, so people don't really do it, and that's why you only find these interesting fruits here in Central America. When you ask people in Guatemala, like, what is the quintessential traditional dish here, then many will say to you it is the papillon. This is basically a meat stew. It could be either beef, pork or chicken. So we had the chicken stew, and in the stew they will put tomatoes, they will have crushed squash seeds, and they will put in cacao to make this wonderful brown sauce. It doesn't taste like any of these three. It's a very unique combination of flavors, and it really works.
And then we have for desserts some plantain, fried plantain, so it's always super nice. But here they eat it with some cream. So you take your banana, you soak it in the cream, and then you powder it with the sugar, and then you eat it. And it was nice. I like plantain.
It's been very cool to walk through this market, which very much forms the heart of the cities here in Central America. And what is especially cool to think about is this has been going on like this for thousands of years. The Mayans already did this 2,000-3,000 years ago, and still today the market really still forms the heart of the city. It's been very cool to be part of that for a little while. Well, I guess that concludes our little market tour in Antigua, Guatemala.
We hope you enjoy, and then we see you in the next video.
Oh wow, we're closing it. Bye!